get your view on the sort of the debt crisis, as some are calling sovereign debt crisis. S&P have come out and said, actually, we've now taken Greece off credit watch, as they got, which I'm sure will be of some relief to the Greek Premiership. How much are you concerned or not about sovereign debt crisis?
Well, first I want to tell you that the staff just brought me another English breakfast.
Yeah.
Nicole, you and Christine should be here. I just had another English breakfast. I'm in hog heaven. First of all, you should put S&P on a debt watch. If they take Greece off, Greece is in serious trouble. And the idea that, I mean, they may paper it over and we may get through this crisis, and I expect us to get through this crisis by papering it over, but that's not a solution to the long-term problems of Greece or many other countries for that matter.
Yeah, so fudge. We'll fudge it. It's always been my expectation is that we'll fudge it in the short term.
I am long the euro because I expect them to fudge it, and I expect them to get through this problem. Now, that's not good for the euro.
Long the euro against what?
Well, I'm long the euro, I'm long the dollar, I'm long the yen, I'm against the Zimbabwe dollar, against sterling. I don't have no position in sterling. I'm not long nor short sterling.
Because currencies is a relative game, right? So it's a battle of the uglies.
No, I understand. Yes, exactly. But you can own 3 commodities or 3 stocks, and I happen to own at least 3 currencies, and I don't own some currencies. But one point about Greece, to my mind, they're going to make the problem worse down the road because then other people are going to come back, then the problem will be worse. In my view, if I were doing it, and this is not going to happen, but I would let Greece go bankrupt because then everybody would say, the euro is a serious currency. They're not going to let people spend money they don't have. They're not going to let them run up huge debts. And at that point, the euro would take off because everybody would know, aha, this is the sound currency we're looking for.
Allowing a euro member to default would be good for the euro.
Yeah, because then people would know it is a sound currency, and you wouldn't have country X and country Y and country Z coming along and doing the same thing. What's going to happen when 4 or 5 more people come and say, hey, we've got a problem too? Then you just weaken the currency more and more from within. If you let one of them go bankrupt, it's only 2% of the EU gross national product. I mean, it's not.
But it's just a principle, there, isn't it, of allowing a eurozone member, fully paid up member of the eurozone, to default on its debts.
Well, they are in default. I mean, listen, they're bankrupt.
They haven't not paid.
I understand, but they're technically in default. If you give them some money, they're going to pay it, but that's still they're in technical default. They have a problem. And if you continue to paper it over, you're going to continue to have more problems. That does not mean that... Listen, if the euro let them go bankrupt, I would buy all the euros I could tomorrow, and so would the rest of the world.
Okay.
So, Jim, you're a guy who says it plain. We have a viewer question in who plainly wants to know from Dave, which currency will fail first then, Europe or the USA?
That's a very, very, very good question. The U.S. currency is much more flawed in the sense that we have gigantic debts, a huge balance of trade deficit, etc. The Eurozone as a whole is much, much, much less flawed. However, having said that, the Eurozone is a political currency. It's not a sound currency anymore because it's political. On an economic basis, it's sounder than the U.S. dollar. On a political basis, it's less sound. I would suspect that the U.S. will have more problems first, and then the euro, but who knows? And to make sure it's clear, I own both. I own the dollar and the euro as we speak.
Hey, Jim, do you have good things to say about the sterling?
Well, I love English breakfast. I love being here.
If you keep coming here and buying English breakfast, the pound's going to go up.
I have no position in sterling. I expect sterling to continue to have serious problems over the next few decades, but I have no position either long nor short right now. Sterling's got a serious problem ahead of it.
What about the Chinese yuan? I mean, I know you're a great bull on China. The yuan, a lot of people are saying, that's going to go up. It's going to be one way. A lot of talk about revaluation, a one-off revaluation. Would you buy the yuan?
Well, I own the renminbi, and every chance. It's not that easy to buy the renminbi, as you know, Christine. It's complicated because it's a blocked currency. It can be bought. I mean, with complications, but it can be. I expect it to go higher over the next few years, and so whenever I can, I buy more renminbi. But that's not for most people because it is a blocked currency.
All right, very good. Jim Rogers, you have been so generous with your time. Do stay with us, Chairman of Rogers.